So one of the other things that we can use for increasing our mental strength or resilience or decreasing our sort of levels of depression and negative emotional feelings is detaching from our past. So most people would have come across somebody or heard somebody who talks about how good they used to be. They talk at depth about what they used to do, how great that was, how awesome it was, and these sort of things. But they're sort of people that are stuck in their past. They're stuck to who they used to be and what they used to do. So it would be really easy for me to talk in depth about my time overly within what I used to do. And I can keep using these things as examples more so than just sort of living in that past. So it would be very easy for me in conversation outside of sort of education and using analogies is to talk about what I used to do or really fixate on who I used to be, what I once did, and these sort of things. And yes, although it was pretty exciting and I really enjoyed it, I can't live in that past. I can't live through who that past person was. And that includes not just in the military context, but also in my time within sport. So it'd be very easy for me to fixate with my ego on the sort of time I spent in high performance sport working in there. But again, that was only a small piece or a transient element of my life, and I have to move on from that. I can't fixate in that identity. So I have to be able to detach from my past and detach from that identity. And for me, I never really identified that much into it. It was just something I did anyway. So if we're stuck in our past and stuck with that identity, we still carry on those behaviors, those beliefs, the models and experience that we developed in there, and they're not really serving us as we go forward. So as we go forward, yes, we need to pick up the strengths. We need to understand what was great about what we did, the behaviors that we developed that are going to serve us, the models that we developed from there that we can use to go on. But we have to now cut that off and start changing who we are to who we want to be and start adapting to our new environment and the future that we want to create for ourselves. And this is kind of supported in the research as well, which has shown that people who can detach from their past, they detach from the identity that they used to be, actually suffer less depression. They suffer less negative emotional feelings, and they move on forward or into the future adapting faster and being more successful and achieving more of what they want. And we also know that there's a number of issues around people who can't detach from their previous identity. They carry that forward. And I think in some cases, yes, it could be easy for me to have the identity that I'm some broken ex-gunfighter who's just angry, likes to drink a lot of coffee and beer, and I probably do, to be honest. But that identity is not going to serve me very well going forward. So I have to be able to detach from that. And some people just have difficulty detaching from that to who they are now and what they need to be. So I've had to move on from being the identity I was when I was in my 20s to 30s, the identity that was 20 or from 30s to 40s as I moved into leadership roles, and then from early 40s when I moved into sport to being a father. So that's the identity I've got now. So as I go from there, I'm going to have to detach from that at some point. And there's a number of other things that I pursue that make sure that I don't have a fixed identity on any one specific thing. These are things that I do more so rather than who I am. So if we can detach from our past, if we can detach from our past identity, understand what we need to take forward, dump the rest, and then use that as our new base to develop new behaviors, new habits, new thinking, see new models, get new experiences, we can start to use those to go forward into the future to be who we want to be, because there's still, for me, there's still a lot of living to be done. So I don't really want to fixate on a period of my life that was sort of 10 to 15 years, despite that may have been the best years of my life. I'm not going to fixate on it because I've still got a lot of life left. So why would I be overly anchored to a transient period of my life, or what is essentially a snapshot of my life as I go forward, or a moment in time? So I hope that kind of helps you understand a little bit around how you need to be able to detach from your past, both in your experiences and your identity, and to be able to move forward. Because if you're still fixated and anchored to your past, you're never going to move forward. So I hope that helps. I look forward to the next one.